Hey everybody, welcome back to the Straight Up Podcast with Zuzu and Aesha. What we're going to talk about today is a little bit about the journey or the path that Aesha and myself have been pursuing, I guess, and diving a little bit deeper into that. It's a journey of spirituality, and I think we're going to start it with basically asking the question of when did we know, or when did we notice that this was something that interested us? Because it had to interest us, I guess, first.
Yeah.
So I'll start with you.
And also, I think I want to really focus on too, the term spirituality is so much everywhere now. It's thrown around everywhere, and I think people just have a different concept of what spirituality is. So I think it's important for you what spirituality means. Important for me what spirituality means, and we could sort of like tell our viewers what it means to us. You know, I think we could start off with that. So what is spirituality? When I say, hey, you are going down the spiritual path and blah blah blah, what does that mean to you?
For me, it's purely getting to understand myself on a deeper level. It's getting deeper inside of my own, of who Joseph is, of who Zuzu is, and who I've always been for 31 years, basically. It's, in the brief moment for me, it's answered a lot of questions already. And that, I think that's, for me, that's all it is. I'm trying to understand who I am, or understand what is deeper inside me, why I'm here, number one.
Yeah, and for me, I guess it's the same thing. It's self-exploration. It is to almost like decode myself, right? And a big part of it too is to step into my own power now and to realize, you know, exactly what you said, like what is out there, what is deeper than just us, you know, liking something, getting it and getting over it, and then again starting this cycle of I want the next thing, and then you achieve it and then it loses value, and then you again find another thing. It's like a cycle. And I think, you know, you go through life and you can sort of get to a point in life. Well, for me, I got to a point of life when I thought, yes, I had this, I had that, and I did this and I did that, and then there was still something within that, like, I couldn't answer, and I didn't know what it was, and it was like this calling, you know, for me. And I was like, it has to be more than this to life. And I think, and it's a very funny time, because you'd think that you'd go out and search, but it actually turned me inwards.
Yeah, 100%. That's how I feel spirituality is. Like, I'm the type of person that's felt lost, or I've questioned a lot of things already, like since being a kid, teenager, then an adult. And it doesn't matter, I guess, I don't know if you lose faith if I lost faith in searching for something out there, outside. So maybe I thought to myself, you know, maybe it's time to search within. And if that's the case, it's answered a lot, and it could have saved a lot of headache, really, on my end, with trying to understand things, I guess. But like, if I can even take it back to when I was a kid in school, and I couldn't apply myself in class because for some reason I just felt that the importance for me wasn't in so much a mathematics class or
like the education.
Class. Yeah, like the education. So I remember doing silly things, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that would have done this, but like trying to move a pen with just my mind.
Oh, so you already had like those kind of like...
Yeah, in my head, I would put a pen on the table and be like trying to roll it off just by looking at it. And I'd spend, honestly, a whole class, 45-minute period doing that. And then the teacher would be like, would anyone like to answer this equation? And he'd call my name, I'd look at him and go, Man, I haven't been paying attention to you at all, and you know that. So I'm not going to answer.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to move this pen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to do something bigger in my mind.
Yeah.
I feel something that is that weird? I don't know. I think it's weird, but I just felt there is more power. There is something more important.
Wow. So how old were you?
Man, I remember that really year 7.
That's amazing, right?
Year 7.
To know that there's something bigger than this.
Yeah.
But then don't you feel like we get dumbed down? Like then society and the system itself goes, no. Like you are not bigger than the system. So you didn't learn at school, so okay, you were small. You didn't do this, you didn't get this grade. You didn't fit into the box, and then it actually makes us feel smaller, you know. But that's amazing that you had that. I could relate to that. I had certain feelings of that too. But did you feel in the middle you had lost connection with that? Because I do believe kids are born with that.
100%. Yeah, in the middle I lost connection with that. In the middle I think the word is lost. In the middle I was lost. And you act out, you know, you do irrational things when you're lost, right? Yeah. You have times of anger, and you'll do things without really overthinking or thinking of consequences and whatnot, right? But yeah, I think honestly, so there's always been a connection for me, hence the reason why I'm so fascinated and happy pursuing it now. You know what I mean? It's the whole spirituality side of life, I guess. And but I do think, yes, definitely I was lost, and the elements of our life and our world did you know, you do get caught up. You're a human being at the end of the day, and we become conditioned to what
also
we're around,
you feel different, because I remember feeling those feelings like similar to you. Yeah. Whereas I think I actually used to be able to have and do anything I wanted to. Like I could manifest like a queen. Like I would just want something and I swear it would happen. Yeah. And you know, it was quite funny for me because it was just so obvious and natural. But then I noticed how it wasn't really supported, and so it's sort of like pushed down as well, and then you sort of start to doubt it. You go, oh, maybe I'm just being silly, and it's, you know, like you get into that, and again it's a disconnection with what you had. It's really funny because I think all kids are born with it, and then, you know, and the weird thing is, right, even I acted out, and then I'm noticing the common thread, which is like, because you knew there was something deeper and you weren't able to express it, right? You have to find other ways of like expressing that thing, right? Because if you're suppressed in that area, then it has to come out in some other way.
In actions.
In other crazy actions, which is you're going to do crazy stuff. You're going to do wild stuff. You're going to make crazy decisions. You're going to like really, because what was innate and natural to you was actually being suppressed. Yeah, and I think what was the norm, or to be seen as the norm, wasn't exciting enough. Yeah,
it wasn't stimulating enough, because I think deep down we knew there is much more. And I remember asking my dad like funny questions, and you know what, my son acts pretty similar to me, and I would ask these questions that are like, my dad would be like, you overthink, like you think so much, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I was always curious, and I would ask questions, curious about what's the best. You know, curiosity, and as a kid, curious in history was my favourite class, for example. Wow. History, I would not give a shit about any class. I was at the front row of every history class with Mr. Serrano. At the front row, ready to rock and roll, because it was the only thing that history, talking about thousands of years ago, how people, you know what I mean? Yeah. Was the only thing that got me intrigued. Yeah. Got my mind going. Everything else was boring. You know what I mean? Interesting. And yeah, I think the imagination, well, not really imagination, it was when I would sit with myself. I'd be out with my dad somewhere, and we used to go like to the racetrack a lot. He'll take me interstate for drag racing. So I'd spend time away And at those times, I'd be a lot of times just me by myself, quiet, because he's working on cars and what they're doing, right? And at those times when I'm by myself, I would get these questions that I want to answer. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you've got no distraction.
No distraction. So I think that was even at a young age.
You have that.
Finding that spirituality.
Nice. And see, that's the thing.
That is spirituality. I think there's a tendency for each soul to be curious. You know what I mean? Definitely think that. Another thing, right? Like, I know you had that as a kid, and I had that too, and then it's sort of like we got disconnected from it. What do you reckon evoked it the second time? What do you reckon? Because now we're full on into it. We're very, very comfortable with exploring this path, and a lot of the times, if I look at like amazing spiritual teachers and stuff, they actually went through a really dark phase in their life. Like Eckhart Tolle was suicidal, Another person was suicidal. Someone has sickness or cancer. They experience something that really pulls them down to the deepest hell, right? And then they have an awakening. They sort of start, that is literally the switch that makes them go within. And, and I feel that was the same for me. Like, I really didn't explore it later on in my adult life when life was comfortable. I didn't. Because I had to I didn't have to. Because there was no need to go within, because everything on the outside looked okay and it was comfortable. Yeah,
there was no reason to change if you're comfortable.
That's right.
But man, when my life started to show me signals and messaging of discomfort, I really started to go within. It was the only time. Did you feel like you had the same experience, or did you sort of do it out of choice where you're like, no, I want to sort of explore it? Because for me, it did take things falling down, falling apart, things breaking.
Yeah, I think I felt like I've felt lows like multiple times. Always on my own. Like, I've never sat there and really let anyone know. Or, you know what I mean? I've never involved anyone. Never brought them down with me when I was burning. You know what I mean? Like, but it's always been on my own.
Okay.
That mind would go, right? But what I think is, being young and a teenager, you're and being aware, you can't explain this to your 15, 16-year-old boys, like your homies, and you're all G'd up, and you're proving a point. This is my postcode, this is your postcode. You know what I mean? You can't. What are you gonna do? Hey, do you want to know about that?
Yeah.
Like, I tried to move a pen once in my head. Like, you know what I mean? That type of stuff. So, so I think honestly, what it was, one of our friends told me once, and he's older than us, and he told me to watch this documentary called The Secret, The Law of Attraction. So I watched it, and because I'm that type of person, I'm curious. I'll do anything. I'm not worried or scared or believe in some bad shit. I'll be like, I'll have a crack and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
So I watched it and I was obsessed. And I remember playing it to my sister, my parents. I was about 18, 19, and I'm like, guys,
look at this.
Yeah. I'm putting it on TV. I'm like, look. Like, I was, and somehow I couldn't feel the same vibe coming off them. Like,
Yeah, they're like,
you know what I mean? Like, this is the fucking, this is
the
best thing. This is answering questions. This is the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then what I started to realise was a lot of people could relate to it, and I didn't sound like a weirdo or spastic talking to them, because even though the documentary was The Law of Attraction, it was talking about, putting up pictures of the house you want, this and that, right? Manifesting, right?
Vision boards and all
Vision
that
boards,
stuff.
manifesting. But it wasn't diving too deep into spirituality. It was more just a mindset. It was just a way of thinking.
Opening up.
So I started to realise, hang on, all these other people, business people and all, they're talking about this too. So I felt like, I honestly felt like that excited me for life again, because I was lost. I was lost. From 15 to 18, 19 years old, when I was lost. I was like, where am I going to be in the next 6 months, 12 months? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? So then I think that excited me again to see that now I can...
There's a possibility.
There's a possibilities. there is like what I thought. There is more power within the human being. It's
yes,
not what we see all the
yes,
time. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not stuck here.
I'm not stuck
I'm
here.
helpless. I'm a victim.
This is the life this is
the life I've been given.
Then when I went through that documentary, I realized, okay, other people are not going to laugh about this. The people know about this, right? So then it was that.
Do you know where I found that you really dove in? Like that was one layer of spirituality, because I think the first layer is very important, which we do get enticed by. We can create, we can get the car, and that's very important too. Don't fucking bypass that. Yeah. Because that is an opening for you to go deeper. If you don't experience that, it's very hard to go deeper and deeper and deeper. Eventually, you don't even want the car. You know, you get to a point where you go, oh, if it happens, it happens. You just lose that attachment, and you got other things, you know. Yeah. But you know what? I reckon COVID was good for you, because COVID really pushed you, and it really put you up against the wall where you were really like pressurized. And I remember coming back and meeting you after that, and I was like, bro, like I saw that pressure on you. Yeah. And then
with COVID, just saying that, like, you're right. You're 100% right, Aisha, about that, because with COVID, I felt the same way at certain times as I did being that 15, 16, 17-year-old. But the difference was the frustrating part, and Jessie knows this, because I was so frustrated, because I said when I was that teenager, I didn't have a wife and kids to have to
look after
and be here for. I felt like my hands were tied even further. So then it was like this conflict of personality and everything, and that was the most I've ever been tested.
I really felt
it was the only time I could relate to my teenage years, but the difference was
it's more intense
because I was fighting with myself, going,
I have to be here for them.
I can't do this. I can't be like that, because I've got to look after them. Do you know what I mean? I was constantly like punching on with myself on an energy level, right? Punching on with myself, and then what happened? I started stressing even more. Then I started saying, "Oh, fucking, I feel sick. I feel this. I feel that." Right? And till we caught up again after that at the gym, and then I thought. Then that's honestly when I thought, you know what, I cannot self-destruct. I've got 2 kids and I've got a wife. I cannot. It's reckless if I do not really put some focus on working on fixing what's going on within me. It wasn't outside. It wasn't someone different. As a teenager, it's, oh no, we went to this party, we did this, whatever. That crew's gonna come. We're gonna watch our backs. It's a different stress, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This was more like that. That's an external thing. With this was like, I've really got to fix something inside me. I could not see my life working. You know what I mean? So I think 100% it was when you feel like you're at the shit. The bottom of the bottom. Do you know what I mean?
I had known you
when you were younger, and then I hadn't, like, I was overseas and stuff, so I had not seen you for a bit of a gap. A couple of years or something.
Yeah, that's right. You moved back.
And then when I came back, I was really like, whoa, taken back, because I'm like, what? Hold on, this is not you. Like, what are you talking about? But I could feel the pressure. I could feel that, and I just was like, no, because I had started this work 5 years prior to that. So maybe I've done it like almost 8-9 years now. I've been on this path, and you know. And it's not like you ever get there, but there's always like, you always can go deeper. And I remember seeing you and not seeing that as you. I remember just going, no man, like, no, I get that you're going through that, but that's not you. And I remember like, because I had been through my own journey, I just came back in a separated marriage. I had to go through that whole process, come back and, you know, to a different, come back to this country, establish myself, my children. Then we had COVID in Australia. It was massive, right? But I tell you, it was this work, it was this, what I was doing that kept me centered. I didn't lose my shit. It doesn't mean it wasn't difficult, because yes, we were in lockdown hardcore here. But I remember, and because it was such a benefit to me, I said, dude, you gotta try this stuff. You gotta do this stuff. And I remember we started such a small level of just having a cold shower and doing
doing a bit of breath work and cold shower.
What is that?
doing though? Think about it in a bigger. It's bringing awareness back to you. Like, you know, and people think spirituality just means like meditating and not talking to. But no, man, I believe spirituality is a reconnection. It's to yourself first, and then to others and your community. I feel that. Actually, yourself, God, others, and then community, right? Like, I feel like unless you connect to yourself, you won't even go to God.
No.
Because you're so lost, right?
Yeah.
And I feel that was, and it's really weird how like you really have to hit a spot where you're so fucking lost that you surrender that fucking thing of like, I know how to do it. I know how to do it.
Yeah.
The ego, you know, I know how this is. I know what this is. Like, you get to a point where you just go, I fucking don't know.
Yeah.
And I think when you get to that point, that's when the opening happens of like, fuck man, there's something deeper. Like, you've tried it your way. You did everything. You did the right thing. You were the best this and provider and this, and I gave that. And I still didn't. So then you got to go, fuck. And that is the opening for like this self. Like, you go, okay, what is this? What is this? You know? And I think for me, spirituality has been about connection, like real deep-seated connection to myself. And do you know what else, man? Responsibility. Like, I do not blame anyone or any circumstance for my experience.
Yeah, you don't victimize yourself. And
It's a byproduct.
no, I reckon that's one of the main keys
Yeah.
to fighting things like depression and anxiety that a lot of people are dealing with, that just keeps, especially after COVID, it's fucking through the roof.
It's so sad.
That shit. So 100% taking control of every aspect of
just
your life.
responsibility, man. Like, you take ownership.
Ownership for it, not being a victim.
No.
When you're a victim, you're helpless. You're going to wait for someone to come save you. Ain't going to happen.
Yeah. And it's also like you always stay in that state of like, something happened to me, something happened to, I'm always at the mercy of.
Exactly.
But you know what, like, if you really, and this is why meditating is so good, because it gives you space, it gives you quietness. If you really sat down and, you know, like, I look at my life exactly to this moment, you and me sitting here on this table, I can completely say that I was 100% responsible for this moment to occur. As it was, because I now look back at the choices, the beliefs I had, the thinking, the energy that I put out, the way I was, what was internal and external. I seriously am 100% responsible for this moment. 100%. Because, you know, so many people go, no, but I didn't want this, but this happened. No, somewhere in your field, there is something. So I always say, like, if you walk around, you know, people say, how come bad things happen to good people when they're always praying? And I'm like, because underneath it, you're praying as a victim. So you're going to keep getting like you're a victim. You do always get whatever you want, but the wanting is what people are confused with.
And you know what's weird too, like that thing there, bad things happen to good people. How do you know who's good and bad, but?
Good question.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, remove the bad things happen to good people, just things happen to people.
Spot on, man.
Do you know
Spot
what I mean?
on, man.
Remove
And who doesn't? Yeah.
And that's the only truth I can
love
find.
that.
Things happen to people. Yes, things happen.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
things won't stop happening.
And you know what? Like, when I look back at my own journey, I think far out. I have self-sabotaged myself 100%. I've harmed myself. I've betrayed myself. I have lied to myself. I have let myself down. I've also done it to other people, yeah? Now, when I look at that, I think far out, yes, absolutely. I have experienced all of that.
Yeah.
Right? And because I have, today I can sit here and have compassion. And I think that is one of the other things is that good person, bad person, only good people are like religious and spiritual. No, it's not, man. It's knowing that we've experienced all that, because that girl that have done all that and experienced all that is that same girl here now thinking, my God, I am so connected. Like, I honestly tell myself every day, like, nothing and nobody's going to take me out of a state of love. And yes, of course it happens in moments, like you can do whatever. But spirituality for me now is seriously being so connected to life, so connected to myself, just always in gratitude. And it's a natural thing, you know. It's not a woo-woo thing. It's not only meditations and praying and stuff like that. I feel for the first time like I feel so connected, you know, like I feel so with everything. Like I don't actually even have preference most of the times of I want this, I don't want that. You know, you're sort of like with life more.
100%. Honestly, that's what I was explaining to you even before. Like when you feel this way, everything it's like a fountain, just opens up and everything's effortless. While you're talking, I was just thinking of something, and it actually made me a bit sad to the point where I was thinking of like how I was when I was lost as a teenager and some things that I did, and I thought if that was my son on the receiving end of that, and just now it brought a bit of sadness to me thinking, and I've never thought of it that way because I've never been so connected, I think, to and so aware of emotions, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think it
Opens up to see other people's perspectives too. Like, you know, when you're so self-identified, right, you'll only see your way, you'll only think your way, you only want to experience it your way. And then I think when you start doing this work, you sort of have a little bit of a distance between yourself and the real you. And then what ends up happening is like you go, fuck man, how would that person have been? Like, how would they have? And that's beautiful too, because then your awareness starts to sort of like go back and so much wider, and you are naturally thinking about other things, other people, and experiencing life differently.
isn't it? And how beautiful is it
That now that you can still sit back and go, far out, I felt that, like you can feel it now.
Yeah, I can feel that same night and everything. You can feel I can feel the emotion, and I'm like, now I'm just like, fuck man. Imagine that was my son. You know what I mean? Like in my head, I'm like,
yeah.
And now I feel compassion for that guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man,
Does that
absolutely.
make sense?
Yeah.
100%. Like I got teary now just thinking about, because your emotion gets like I think, yeah, fuck, you know what? I've done that, but you know what? Jules, like I look at it this way, right? We need to be the predator,
100%.
and we need to be the one that suffers and is a victim, because in knowing both of those extremes, right, we can actually love everything else in between as well.
Yeah.
Like, because if I was never ever the predator, say if I never hurt someone, how the fuck will I have compassion for someone that I know all I would do is judge and say, you're a bad person, you're a bad person, right? That's what we do. But if you really look at yourself and go, fuck, where have I done that? Where have I become the bully? Where have I hurt someone? Then, you know, you realise that, fuck man, that's within all of us, and that shit can be expressed at times, you know? And it's never in our strength, man. It's always out of fear, bro.
100%.
You never do that stuff out of love.
Well, I'm reflecting back on it now. It's not strong.
It's never strong.
It's not strong. I feel weak.
Yeah.
Reflecting back on it now, it's a fear state. It's a weakness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you have
to hold both, because then, like, if someone came to you now and said, "Hey, Zuz, man," and you see someone doing that, you know what? You actually know that, hey, man, they're not in their power right now. They're actually maybe in a fearful state, and that's why they're bullying. That's you know, you have compassion because you've been there. I can
understand exactly.
Yeah.
And the way I see, look, if I see that, especially in our gyms, right, our boxing gyms and that, I can tell who's a bully.
Yeah.
When they walk in, who's the bully at school, who's the bully at their workplace, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But instead of looking at them in a certain way, I can understand, because you know I've been there in that shoes. I can have compassion, and with compassion you can then help.
That's right. Man.
How can you help something that you're put off by, or
exactly.
something that you try? You know, you've got this resistance against, but you're going to help them. You can't.
You can't.
And honestly, I think I'd love to see like spirituality really take off in our communities.
Yeah, man.
Imagine having just that feeling we just had just right now.
Yeah.
Like
from
having that
you,
compassion.
Do you know what? From
Do you
you,
know what
I
I mean?
got teary because I was like, I could feel your compassion.
Yeah, because I did.
So
I've
it
never
friggin'
felt-
triggered it in me.
I've never felt compassion like that really, and
Yeah.
and as you were talking, I just remembered it like it was like I was there.
Yeah.
I was there, but then I thought of my son instead of that guy,
Mm.
and I thought, nah, that breaks my heart.
It
you know what I mean?
does.
So-
And even
For me, like it's me too, because you're like far out, yeah, you know. But
just
I've always
shows you
say-
honestly how blinded you are when you're lost and when you're not
when you're lost.
when you're not connected to yourself.
And you know what?
when you look back at that, you knew you were lost, and that's why this behavior was a lost behavior. And now you can look back, and so now it gives us more opportunity to go, fuck, man. When you watch, don't judge straight out. You fucking don't know. You don't know what anyone's going through. You don't know what state of being they're in and why they're acting like that. You know what I mean? Like, I always say that. I said, there's something there first for the behaviour to occur, right? Like right now, there's no way you'd do that. Your state of being is different.
Yeah.
You know? Your seed is different.
Yeah.
Back then, it wasn't.
No.
So you've got to also have compassion and go, fuck, man, that is the best I knew back then.
Exactly.
You know, and that's the thing of spirituality is like, it's not just the good, the light, the rainbow. It's like,
No, it has to be
fuck,
acceptance of
you've
everything.
got to go to the fucking cave. You've got to go to the darkness and know that, man, yeah, you've got to own what you've done.
That dude said spirituality is not for wussies. What did he
Yeah,
say?
Michael Beckwith.
Yeah,
It's courageous.
Because mate, spirituality is not for wussies, and I'll tell you what I've experienced
So you reckon,
since following this
Starting.
path and journey. It's not for
Tests you,
wussies.
huh?
It fucks with you, man.
It tests you.
You
That's
know
like-
how it's tested me the last couple of weeks, just on a health
I know,
level.
I know.
It's fucked with me.
And you know, not just that, you watch friends will fucking test you,
Yeah.
relationships will test you, you'll be like, fuck, really? Are you spiritual? Like, are you gonna fucking be integral with what the path? It has to.
It's funny. It's that devil and angel
It
on your
is.
shoulders.
It is. And you know
Where
what
you
people
feel
think?
like you're growing here, and then it comes to smash you
Yeah.
and make you try to lose faith in everything that you think you're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
Test you.
But-
yeah.
you just work deeper and persevere through it.
That's
You'll
it,
find
man. That's it. That was a good
True.
one.
Yes,
Fuck. That's
that's
good.
deep.
Mate, we had some fucking enlightenment. I
The what?
had some enlightenment during that. I just fucking imagined something. And I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, I've got compassion.
Yeah, you do.
I didn't feel like I have compassion.
And
I've
you
got
know,
compassion.
It was so much that I got teary because I was like, fuck, I can feel that feeling through you.
like it literally resonates.
You know, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
Self-realization, man.
Cool.
There you go. Signed off, brother.
Well, I hope you all didn't cry. So that was that was our little episode today. Hey Leah. Yeah, we got deep, guys, but this is what spirituality does, I guess. You
Yeah.
dive in, and you and there's no filters, and
That's it. No filters,
no
man.
It's
filters.
raw and real.
It's raw, real.
It's authentic.
You express it as it comes,
Yeah.
and that's it.
And it's all part.
Parts of you, man. Good, bad, ugly,
100%.
fucking all of it. That's
It's
it.
total
It's
acceptance.
loving everything. Yeah, it's learning to love all of you,
We
and
are
then you end up loving everything. else.
Everything. It's true. We are one, but many.
All right.
Subscribe, share, post, and what else?
Communicate with us.
Communicate.
Don't
with
be
us, bro.
afraid to communicate with us.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Cool.
Cool.
Done.
Easy. Thanks,
Cheers.
guys.
See you, man. Next time.
Bye.